Luke, wake up, Luke.
What?
It's Christmas Day, Luke.
Already?
It's come round quick.
It has.
We're here because it's a very special Christmas Day.
I'm so sleepy.
Do you know why it's a special Christmas Day, Luke?
No.
Because all of our listeners are waiting for the first ever Christmas Most Unwanted.
Hey!
Come on, I've got some drinks for you downstairs. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is your Christmas episode of Most Unwanted, an X-Files podcast. We are here, it should be coming out Boxing Day, so everyone full from the turkey, and they've opened all the presents. They don't want to do anything today, they want to sit back and enjoy a nice episode of Most Unwanted. I'm Chex, I'm joined, as always, by a very sleepy Luke.
Oh yeah, I'm finally waking up to this lovely day.
Well, this is our Christmas.
It is.
We skipped Christmas.
Yeah.
We didn't bother because we knew today was coming.
Yeah, throw it convention. We want our own Christmas.
We've got Most Unwanted Christmas, and that's all we need. So
they could call it Xmas.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you see my face as I thought that one up?
That was amazing. You got so excited by it.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of Christmas jokes you can all expect today. I can't get out of these soothing tones from the intro.
It's going to be a soothing episode, that's what it is.
Exactly. So, Christmas Day. This is our Christmas Day. What's the traditions? What do you like to do on Christmas Day, Luke?
Well, there's
what can we get up to?
What do we get up to Christmas Day? Well, as I mentioned before, I like to the last few Christmases now, like 2 or 3. We've started the day by unwrapping presents.
Yeah.
A glass of Bucks Fizz.
Always. Yeah.
You've got to have Bucks Fizz.
No matter what time of the morning.
Exactly. And I like to put on the Peep Show Christmas special.
Yes, you did mention. And is that your morning? Or is that before you visit family?
That's the morning. And then usually, this year's a bit different as we're doing our own meal, our own stuff. So we're spending it here. So it's going to be just me and Tash Christmas, so it'll be an interesting one. Okay. But we're seeing family either side of it, so
yeah,
not too bad. How about yourself? What about Christmas traditions for yourself?
So it's very similar. Always your Bucks Fizz. We open presents first thing because it just saves carrying them around and Christmas morning because we go visit family on the day.
Well, that's what we do. Like the days before, I'm going to drop all the presents off everywhere, so don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
So we open them all in the morning. In fact, just a little side note, I hear that that's a signifier of your class, is whether you open... Yeah, you tend to be... Again, this is just what I hear, no judgment from my behalf, but you tend to be of a lower class the earlier you open your presents.
Okay,
and apparently the higher class open their gifts after dinner.
Okay, that's why I open mine at 6 in the morning.
You can't wait.
Can't wait, yeah. Scum, that's what I am.
So yeah, we'll get up, we'll exchange gifts, usually go and put on our best clothes, probably something that we've bought especially for the day, and then straight off, see family, dinner, lie there, because we've eaten far too much, watching rubbish TV. Oh, it's an amazing day. We don't have to worry about that this year, because that's what we're going to do today, as as record a Christmas podcast.
A Christmas special. Well, you were talking about... or we were talking about, Christmas specials that you watch.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier. What are some of your favourite Christmas specials?
TV me. Okay, I always go for Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah.
Gavin and Stacey. I don't know whether... Was that... Do you think that was a big thing stateside?
Do you know what? It's mental because he's such... We're talking about James Corden here.
Yeah.
James Corden is such a massive star in America now. Yeah. Most Americans don't know him the way we do.
See, yeah, we know him from Gavin and Stacey. I'm assuming it probably crossed the pond in some form or another.
Maybe, but then again, like, a lot of the stuff it goes on about, or the stuff it talks about, is really...
quintessentially British.
English stuff and British stuff. Yeah,
it's very much like... it's funny because it's true type thing, and if you're not from Essex or Barry Island, you know what I mean. I think it would be a little bit, but then again, it's very accessible humour as well because it's all about the personalities. So I think it would work. But I always watch that Christmas special. Other Christmas specials I like, not necessarily the ones that I watch. It tends to be like the old British sitcoms, but I think that's more because it's what I grew up with. That's what was on the telly on Christmas Day, and it's sort of more nostalgic than anything else.
Because that's the thing, like, I always hear people moaning that the Christmas TV this year is always rubbish. Every year now, for the last God knows how many years, people always say it's rubbish. But it's just like, well, you've had your Christmas special, do you know what I mean? At the time they were on and you were loving them, people were probably saying that they were crap, you know what I mean? So, they were, so I think it's just changing of the times. Like, kids these, like, now will see, like, the Christmas special we're getting as, in 10 years' time, they'll be the ones that they keep watching, you know what I mean? So,
definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, apart from, obviously, Peep Show?
So, I was going to say Gavin and Stacey as well. I think that one's a classic one.
And it's so good, and I'm almost in tears by the end of it every time I watch it. I'm
a big fan of the Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge. I watched that one the other day, actually. It's do you know the premise of, like, the show before Alan Partridge? Yeah. Like, so it's like a Christmas special of his TV show where he's basically trying to use the entire show as a pitch to his boss to get a second series. And it's just, it's that kind of cringy, embarrassing, like, he's basically just kissing this guy's arse all the way through, you know what I mean? So it's, that was pretty good. There's loads, to be fair. There's so many. I've made a list that I want to try and watch before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
We've got, like, Christmas films and Christmas specials that I want to try and watch.
Films interest me. What's your favourite Christmas film? Because this is the thing with Christmas films. I feel like 10 years ago, we just sort of stopped trying to make good ones. Yeah. And now, they're still coming out, and you'll see a lot of them on Netflix, but they're all the B-rated, sort of really cheesy, really cheaply made. Nothing against it. Sometimes they're cracking to put on Christmas Day just to zone out to. But there's nothing like a cult classic Christmas film. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, the ones that I've seen, like, that have come out recently, they're just really cheesy.
A lot about princesses. There's so many films about princesses.
Yeah. I don't understand where this fascination's come from, but then again, we're two guys. Maybe we're not meant to understand the fascination.
I want the Christmas Prince.
So for Christmas films, I watched one the other day that is always a classic, and that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
It is a classic.
And it's also, it's a lot smuttier in, like, the jokes and stuff than I remember. Like, the last time I watched it, he basically tells someone to fuck off at one point. I was like, okay, I didn't realise that was in it, but yeah, it's.
I would have you down, if I had to guess your favourite Christmas film, I'd say Die Hard.
See, I used to say that a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But I think I've got a lot more traditional lately, and I just want that, like, classic. Don't get me wrong, I love Die Hard, and I will probably watch that coming up to Christmas, just because it's an excuse to watch Die Hard.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've changed tracks lately of the argument about, is it a Christmas film? Who cares? Like,
it's a great film.
Yeah, it's a great film. I don't know. I don't think it's a Christmas film that much anymore. And you've known me for a long time.
Yeah.
That's changed, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
So now I would say, National Lampoon, Home Alone is a classic Christmas film. And I always love watching that. And also, it's a difficult one because it works in 2 seasons. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I love that film because, you can watch Halloween, Christmas.
I argue it should be a transitional film. It should only be watched in November.
November. That's not a bad idea, actually, yeah.
I actually think Die Hard is a Christmas film myself. I would argue the same thing for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone in America.
That's an interesting one.
Just because it's on. It's always on Christmas, so I associate it. It's Christmas Day.
In that case, then, the point has to be made for both any James Bond film.
Yeah, of course.
It's a Christmas film. And The Great Escape.
The Great Escape's definitely a Christmas film, without a doubt.
Yeah, probably not the greatest Christmas message, but it is always on at Christmas, so.
I think my favourite, and you talking about being a traditionalist, It's a Wonderful Life. I adore that film. Oh, it's There's no better Christmas film out there. There really isn't. I absolutely adore it.
It's so classic that I've never seen it all the way through, and I know the entire plot. I know all of the key phrases in that because it's that like universally known. So
it's so ingrained into our culture, into our pop culture, should I say?
Yeah.
So okay. Let's do the trifecta of medium then.
Yeah.
We might as well while we're here.
Yeah.
We've done films, we've done TV. Very controversial. Favourite song?
Favourite Christmas song. So there's a lot of choices, but for me there can be only one winner in this.
Is it the same as mine?
It's Paul McCartney.
No, it's definitely not the same as mine.
Wonderful Christmas Time. Simply because not only is it a great Christmas song, it's also a really weird Paul McCartney song.
Yeah.
It was in that era where he was messing around with synthesizers and just started getting a bit crazy. But if you listen to it, it's a brilliant Christmas song. But yeah, if you think this man was in the Beatles, you just think, this is so weird.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, that's probably my favourite. How about? But there's many around it. But how about you?
The one that I like to listen to the most right now is probably, shamefully, Kelly Clarkson's Underneath the Tree.
Right,
I love that song. I don't know why, I just find it so catchy. When it comes on, it gets me in the spirits.
To be fair, it's a really catchy song.
It is, isn't it?
It's just got drive to it. It just keeps...
it just keeps amping up. But for all-time favourite, it's got to be, for me, Elton John, Step Into Christmas.
That is...
Love that song.
That's Tasha's favourite as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
great.
She absolutely loves
I'll have
that
to mention that to her.
It's either that one, or it's the very beginning of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The song in that.
What's that one?
Maybe I should play it to you instead of trying to hum it.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's do it now.
Let's do it. Right there.
I don't remember it.
I'll find it right there. Fill some time for me.
Put me on the spot.
Okay, I found it. It's a cover, but basically they don't have the rights to the song, but
neither do we. I've never heard this song in my life.
You never heard this one?
No.
You need to watch National Lampoon.
I watched it. I don't remember this at all. Right, get it off.
Yeah. To be fair, like I said, it's a terrible cover of that because they don't have the rights. But again, neither do we. Oh, Siri's joining the party there.
What's your view on classic Christmas songs? Driving Home for Christmas,
I
White
them.
Christmas.
I love them. Like, see, there's always people who really don't like Christmas songs, and I can understand that. You know what I mean? Like, if you
they are overplayed over this.
Definitely, I can understand that. But the classics, I don't mind. There's some that proper grate me, but most
Last Christmas, by any chance?
No, Wham doesn't bother me.
No, Wham doesn't bother me.
Wham doesn't bother me. Do you know what one's grate me?
Go on.
When I put a Christmas playlist on YouTube, and this Irish like folk band keep popping up every 5 seconds. I'm like, who are you?
The Pogues.
No. Who are they? Yeah. Oh yeah. Not the Pogues. No, they're like a
How
new...
have we come through an entire section of about Christmas songs and not mentioned Fairy Tale of New York?
That's a good point. Yeah.
What a song that is.
Where are you? There's a lot of controversy around this, especially this year.
Why did you say controversy like that? Controversy.
Controversy. So...
What's this controversy?
Well...
Didn't she die by getting hit by a speedboat?
She got decapitated by a speedboat, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100% true, yeah.
I was mentioning to that. I said to... This is a weird tangent. I was lying in bed the other day, and I turned around to Jem, and it just popped into my head and I went, which celebrity got decapitated by a speedboat? And we couldn't think who it was.
What a question.
It was her, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't remember her name.
Kirsty McCall, I think.
Yeah.
It was Kirsty McSomething. I can't remember her last name.
But anyway, sorry, what's the controversy?
About the lines that they use whilst they're in the drunk tank during the song, where she calls him a cheap, lousy... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. It rhymes with maggot. Rhymes with maggot. I won't say it. There's a lot at the moment where people are saying, is that okay? Is that not what's it? I heard the best explanation for it, but I'll carry on.
No, carry on.
So I heard someone, and this was strangely The Guardian newspaper, which is quite a liberal newspaper, so you'd think they'd be championing the other side. But their point was, this song is about two people who are, chucked in jail at Christmas. They're not nice people.
Yeah.
So they would say these like slurs to each other. Yeah. Like he calls her another word as well.
Yeah. I think for me, my views on that word, I can't stand that word. But in the song, I get it's a story being played out. Do you know what I mean? So it
would be like being offended by Game of Thrones for saying something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or being offended by any film depicting Nazis. Do you know what I mean? Just it's part of a story. And sometimes those stories need to be told. And I know it's not meant to be that. It's meant to be a catchy Christmas song, but it works in the context of that song.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also got one of my all-time favourite lines in pretty much any song.
Was it that one?
It definitely wasn't that one. It was, what does it go like now? It's something along, she says, she says, you took my dreams from me when I first found you. And then his line after was, I took them with me, babe. I kept them with my own. Can't make it out alone. I built my dreams around you. I love that line. I just love. I get chills every time I hear it. The fact
Christmassy line.
Yeah, I just love the fact that he's built this sort of. No, I didn't take your dreams. We're building our dreams together. I love that. I know it's off topic, but
well, we've done songs, we've done traditions, we've done films.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the most important thing about Christmas.
X-Files.
No, not yet. But I was building up to a Christ joke, but okay. Sort of like The Simpsons.
Yes.
The most important thing about Christmas, the thing that we all remember when it comes to Christmas Day, the presents. So
presents.
The presents.
I love presents.
Yeah. I love to give them. I love to take them. I transitioned into the Ass Man song then. But yeah, so what are some of your best and worst presents that you've ever had?
Ooh.
Almost memorable. They doesn't have to be best or worst.
I've got to be careful, because what if people are listening?
It's a good point.
I can't mention my fiance's presents, can I?
Well, it depends. Do you want a good Christmas or a bad one? Well, it'd be a bad Boxing Day, don't worry about it.
What are you on about? This is our Christmas. We're here in the moment.
Well, yeah.
Stop ruining the illusion, Luke. I remember I woke you up like an hour ago.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about
that. Best and worst presents. I'm not sure, I'm struggling to think of a present that I didn't really like, because I tend to be grateful for whatever I get. I know Jem, my fiancée, her sister, every year without fail, buys me socks.
Right.
And I love it. I absolutely, I know people, the traditional joke is to moan about getting socks for Christmas. I love it. I don't buy socks 3 months leading up to Christmas, because I know I'm getting some.
That's the thing. I used to, when I was like 16, I didn't care for socks. Now I'm 27.
Giving me all day.
Socks and pants, I don't ever want to buy them. Just give them to me.
Can I tell you one of the best feelings in the world, right? Yeah. 2-3 weeks ago, I was clearing out my wardrobe space and went into my sock drawer, and we checked behind, because there was a load of things falling behind, so I collected all the socks that had fallen over the back of the drawers, and I found there this brand new pair of socks. And I've not had a new pair of socks for about 3 or 4 months at this point. Oh, I put them on. Amazing. Is there a better feeling in the world than new socks?
Pretty good. It just reminds me of that Lemmy sketch with his luxury socks.
It was phenomenal. But I do have a story about a worst present.
Okay.
A guy at my work got a TV Guide magazine from his 10-year-old son.
To be fair, that's useful. Like, you always need to know when stuff's on TV. So.
I think it was the first time his son was allowed to go off and buy his own present for his dad, and that's what he came up with.
Fair enough.
What about you? Best or worst? Or?
So, worst. There's nothing really that it's like.
We're not
terrible.
ungrateful people, are we?
No. There's nothing that I can think of that's actually that bad. Like, usually you'll get stuff where it's just like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, this is amazing, but like, it's fine. Like, you'll end up using it.
Yeah.
So. But the best present, or the most memorable, I'll say, hands down, was, I think it was like 96. So this is going back a long time.
What, 3, 4? No, 5, yeah.
So this is, you can tell this is a good one because I still remember it from that many years ago.
Oh, this is going to be good. What is it?
So the film Toy Story had recently been out. I think that came out in 2005, didn't it? So it would have been
2005. 10 years after you was born.
1995,
Whoa.
Sorry. Anyway, it was around that Christmas, or the Christmas after, and this was the first time I'd seen it, the first year that I'd seen it, and for Christmas we got a bunch of presents.
Yeah.
And opening them all, getting... I can't even remember the other presents, I'll be completely honest. But anyway, opening other presents, usual toys and stuff like that, pyjamas. And then it come to the end, and I think I put on my Christmas list that I wanted a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. So I wasn't like a selfish kid, so I was just like, oh, okay, maybe Santa didn't bring it this year.
Yeah.
And then my dad, in probably his greatest hour... He reenacted the exact scene from Toy Story 1 where it says, "There's one more," comes out with a present from behind the wall or wherever it was.
That's amazing.
And then there we go, I get a Buzz Lightyear.
Well, it's like the little green army men reporting to your other toys upstairs.
I don't know if it was that year or the year after. I did get some green army men, actually. But they're an easy present to get because they're like a £5.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And plus, a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's so much fun. Well, now I collect really expensive plastic models. It's led to an obsession.
You continued. Some of us stopped.
Most stopped. I just got premium.
Right. I think we've enjoyed Christmas enough.
It is, yeah.
I think we need to get down and dirty and get on with the job at hand.
On Christmas?
On Christmas, because you know what? Yeah. It's our listeners' Christmas too.
It is, yeah. We need to give them a gift.
We thought long and hard about what gift to give them.
Yeah.
We could have done another normal X-Files episode. And sure, that'd have been fine. Sure, that would have been fine.
Listeners, you're not seeing the face that I'm seeing right now, so that's...
But do we want to give them more? Why am I doing this voice?
Now he looks like an Italian chef, the way he's doing hand movements now. So I'm trying to narrate it so people can paint the picture of this. So
I'm just doing extravagant movements now. So we decided, let's do something special. Mm-hmm. Let's review the Simpsons Files, the X-Files episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Is it actually the Springfield Files, isn't it? Yeah. I do apologise. So... shall we get on with it?
I think we should.
Ho, ho, ho! On with the show!
We'll get on with the show.
Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your Christmas hats, your Santa hats. Get cozy by the fire. Grab the nearest box of chocolates.
Throw another log on the fire.
Yeah.
Get it roaring.
Roast the chestnuts.
Oh, yeah.
And grab your favourite tipple.
An open fire. I only know that lit line.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Okay.
Okay. We could carry on, but we're not going to.
No, I'm not David Bowie. And I don't want to be.
We are going to get straight into the Springfield Files, which is a Simpsons episode.
It is.
Didn't bother recording which one. Did you?
The actual episode.
It
was season 9, like episode 8 or something.
Let's go with that. I'm happy with that.
We'll assume we'll move on.
It was titled Springfield Files.
Yeah.
Its original air date was on January 12th, 1997, on the Fox network. Written by Reed Harrison and directed by Stephen Dean Moore.
Mm. New names that we've not heard before.
This is a complete new creative team.
Yeah.
So this is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Also, way far... I mean, there was a huge gap between the last episode we reviewed and this episode.
Yeah.
Very strange.
About 4 years.
So we're going to get straight into the rundown.
Oh, before we start...
Oh, okay.
Did you catch the classic chalkboard gag and couch gag? Have you got
If you would let me do my thing, I'm a professional, Luke.
Oh, right.
And the fact that you doubted me insults me. On Christmas Day, of all days.
This is not a time... Actually, Christmas is a time to fight.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yeah. This is our first family tip.
So, we start with the camera panning through the clouds.
Oh.
As the Simpsons, the words in the sky appear.
Right, okay.
And we see a wide shot of Springfield, and we zoom in all the way through the school window, and Bart's in the classroom and he's writing lines, and he's writing, "The truth is not out there." But then the school bell rings, and he's just skateboard out of there.
So yeah, they're contrary to our very MO. You know what I mean? This is against everything we know.
We've been told completely different for the last year.
Worrying.
This is going to be an interesting episode, I can tell right from the off.
I'm looking forward to the theories coming out of this one.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't aware that you were doing the entire intro recap as well.
Are you doubting my professionalism again? He skateboards out at the end of school, and we cut to Homer, and he's leaving work. He works at the nuclear plant, but he's only gone and dropped a nuclear rod into his t-shirt.
Every episode he does this as well. How he doesn't have lymphoma, I'll never know.
Meanwhile, Marge at the supermarket has not noticed that Maggie, her little baby daughter, has climbed up onto the till, and comically, neither does the shop attendant, who goes and scans her. But it all works out well. She puts her in a bag and puts her in the trolley.
I've got a little Simpsons fact for you.
Ooh!
When she gets scanned through, do you know what the price comes up on?
No.
On there. I can't remember the exact figure, but it's the figure that was the national average at the time to raise a baby
really?
To the age of 18.
That is interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Is that in your production notes?
That's not. No, it's in
just a little tidbit.
It's from like the Simpsons 137th episode spectacular.
Okay,
it's
nice.
like a clip show that they did. But anyway, I digress.
At music class,
okay,
Lisa's told to leave because she is not following the script. She's just going and doing whatever she wants to do.
Styling.
And then we cut to Marge's car driving home. Oh, no, sorry. We cut to Homer's car driving home. And he notices the rods in his shirt and he just throws it out the window. It narrowly misses his son, who's also skateboarding past at the time.
Careless.
Very careless. He's weaving in and out of all the pedestrians. And zooming past is Marge's car. But hold on a second. Maggie's driving? She is driving the car?
So we think.
Well, she's driving very erratically, but the camera zooms out, and it's actually Marge. Funnily enough, Maggie had a baby toy. She was driving, but she wasn't controlling the car. At the Simpsons house, Homer pulls up and ducks out the way of a returning Bart and Lisa before running from Marge's arrival into the garage. They all put on their jetpacks and take their seats in the family living room.
Well, that was comprehensive. I'm quite pleased with that.
Thanks.
Question: have you ever watched The Simpsons before? that is actually a genuine question as well. Like, I forgot before we started this.
Our history with The Simpsons.
Our history with The Simpsons. We should probably go over that actually, yeah, because
halfway through the show.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it before Act 1 starts.
Okay,
let's get it.
That's a good idea. Yeah, of course. Who hasn't watched The Simpsons? I've watched tons of Simpsons. It's not my favourite show in the world, I will admit.
Yeah.
I know people absolutely love it, and then it's one of those shows for me where if it's on TV when I'm eating, I'll watch it, type of thing. And it's funny. I've got nothing against it. But yeah, I've watched hundreds of episodes. Yeah. I know you're a big fan of Simpsons, aren't you?
Only like the sort of it's weird because pretty much anyone who watches The Simpsons has this knowledge that after series about 10, just don't bother anymore.
That's pretty much every show, though. I mean, ideas are going to run stale. It's still going now, isn't it?
It's still going. Yeah, it needs to stop. I think. But it is what it is. But it's weird because like when we put Channel 4 on here, which is the network that shows it over here, if it's instantly in HD or widescreen, I just groan because I know it's a new episode.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Turn it off. But it's quite a staple. Like it's really interesting with this episode. Before we start as well, that we had an X-Files crossover in The Simpsons because these were both at this time, like 97 was it?
97. This was
These were both like the biggest shows on TV, or at least the biggest shows on Fox.
Yeah,
at the time, like.
It's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
To have this, and I love how they don't take the X-Files too seriously. Yeah, they're happy to make fun of themselves, should I say?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you carry on with your rundown.
The rest of this episode won't be as detailed as with the intro, I have to admit.
Okay.
But I thought that was quite funny. I started writing the notes and I was like, this is going to be funny.
I'm gonna really draw into this one.
I'll let the audience decide whether I was successful. So, before I start, actually, I know we're going off on lots of tangents. Writing notes for this, I know you've only taken sort of brief notes because it's my episode to sort of host. Writing notes for this was fantastic because it was just so random. I didn't realise how random Simpsons was until I was writing notes for this. Yeah. And then just sentences that shouldn't go together are there. Like the jetpack one, that made me laugh so much. There was like, they just got into the jetpacks and flew to their seats. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
It is a very different type of show. Like, as I sat down to watch it, I was sort of, because it was cutting so frenetically between
Tell me about
I was like, this must be a really difficult one to take notes for.
I was writing a different setting every 15 seconds.
It's crazy. That's what happens when you cram it into like 20 minutes or 20 odd minutes.
I thought this was going to be a 40-minute job to watch, and I was there watching it for about 3 hours. Now, probably about 2, to be fair. But our listeners deserve the best. They deserve the best, Luke, and the best is what we're going to give them. So we're at Leonard Nimoy's office, and he's in an office, the bookshelves behind him, lit by candlelight, and he introduces himself and reveals the following story he's about to tell is the truth. And by that he means completely false, with no truth at all. And he opens his book and reveals the tale starts in Springfield.
It's crazy that we get not only X-Files, we get Leonard Nimoy at the beginning.
Thrown in for no reason at all.
Really. He's in it for like 2 scenes or 3 scenes. But did you get this was a reference to apparently a TV show that was called In Search Of, which was something like he did, like a paranormal show.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
I'll try and bring these up because I wrote notes down on like references and stuff that it like points to. So I'll bring those up as we get to them.
And so we get right to Springfield. And Homer's at work, and he tells Carl and Lenny, his co-workers, that he's off to the pub, despite it being 10 a.m. And he tells them that he has a plan that he saw in a movie.
Don't worry, I have a plan. I saw this in a movie about a bus that had to speed around the city, keeping its speed over 50. And if its speed dropped, it would explode. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
And he thinks the movie was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
Yeah, perfect. I love these Homer just not getting it jokes.
Yeah.
Like, all the way through The Simpsons. It's great.
Particularly in this episode, we get a lot of those. Yeah. He goes on to set a recording loop to the security camera of them working. And we actually get a clip of this recording loop. And it's them all like 20 years ago. And you've got like it's hard cuts to like different times of the day where they're all doing different things.
In like the funny thing is they're all in like Lenny's in like a Saturday Night Fever kind of outfit.
Homer's got like long hair.
I like how they literally made the same joke we did about Mulder being 20 years ago.
We're on the same wavelength, aren't we?
Just as good as The Simpsons.
That's going to be the tagline. Most Unwanted. Just as good as The Simpsons. Yeah. Before season 10.
Little asterisk.
We cut to Mr. Burns and Smithers, and they're reviewing the footage. They don't notice anything out of the ordinary. And Mr. Burns asks Smithers if he will be doing anything gay this weekend. Smithers gets nervous. He starts shaking before realising that actually Mr. Burns just meant the carefree definition.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is a scene that I was talking to you about before. We cut to the retirement home.
Yeah.
Jasper and Alice are taking their meds and arguing over what day it is. Jasper thought it was Wednesday and realising he's taken the wrong pill. All of a sudden, hair grows all over his body.
And then we cut.
And I was it was at this point I was like, this isn't going to be as easy to take notes as I thought. That was a 15-second clip that I had to write all that down for. And it had no repercussions for the show.
Yeah. Just
apart from a cheap laugh.
Yeah. I mean, it got the laugh, so that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Then we go to the Noiseland arcade, and Donkey Kong is at a meet and greet. So random. Honestly, you don't realise how random Simpsons is until you're breaking it down. When you're watching an episode, it's fine.
You've gone from an old man spraying hair to Donkey Kong's doing a meet and greet. Yeah. I didn't realise it was so all over the show.
Honestly, I would recommend anyone break a Simpsons episode down because it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
His manager tells him he's just not a drawer anymore. And as he goes to leave, Donkey Kong throws a barrel at him. To which the manager says, "You've still got it."
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great joke. I like that one.
As a wrestling fan, him telling him he's not a draw and then telling him he's still got it really gets to me.
Inside the arcade, Milhouse is playing Kevin Costner's Waterworld. And it's asking him to put 40 quarters in, so he counts them all in. And then when he does it, he gets control of the character, moves 2 steps, and it's game over. And he calls it a rip-off, and then proceeds to put 40 quarters in again.
Two questions with that. One, have you seen Waterworld?
No.
I've never seen it.
No idea what it is.
2, do you understand what the reference was to?
No.
So, Waterworld was like, I don't know up until when, but it was like ridiculously over budget and over schedule to the point where it like broke shitloads of records and stuff like that. So that's him putting all that money in for like a minimum. Yeah. I think it absolutely flopped as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it broke budget limits and then tanked. It's like one of the biggest tanks in.
What a strange reference just
I know, yeah. I think it was around that year it was coming out though, or something like that. So I suppose.
But have no fear, because we're going to get straight into the actual storyline of this episode now. We're at Dr. Hibbert's house. He's dressed...
Office.
Oh, it's his office, yeah, sorry.
Doctor's office.
And he's dressed up and ready to go out on the town. And as he leaves, we notice that Hans Moleman has been left in the X-ray machine, and it's turned on, Luke. Oh, God.
Hans Moleman. Classic character.
Shall we intervene in the episode for 2 seconds while you give us your best Simpsons impression?
Don't have a cow, man.
Christmas Day. People are tuning in. Well, not Christmas Day, but Boxing Day. People are tuning in, taking time away from their families.
Okay.
And you can't give them one heartfelt impression. Shame on you.
Sorry, I'll do better.
And your kin.
I've got one better.
Do. Oh, that was good. That was good.
No, that was taking the piss. I did wrong.
I'll do one. If you're not willing to put yourself out there.
No.
No. I was trying to do Dr. Hibbert's laugh, and that definitely didn't work. Okay. No. At least I'm trying, Luke, and the listeners will appreciate that. Come on, give us one.
Eat my shorts. I don't know if Bart's ever said it that aggressively.
No, I don't think he has.
It's usually in jest.
Okay, I'm going to move away from the mic. I'm going to nail this one.
Okay.
But I have to move away from the mic.
Okay, like Tay-Zondi. What a callback. Yeah, I'm glad you did. As I look at its bar.
You might have to, if that one kills everyone's eardrums, edit it out.
I'll just drop it down. Cut it down.
Well,
anyway.
At least you know who really cares about your listeners. Who actually put in some effort. We're at the Simpsons house now, and Marge is cleaning up a very messy house. She shoos away the dog, she shoos away the cat, and she shoos away a wild fawn that's just licking the living room floor. Bart and Lisa are watching Thank God It's Friday lineup on TV.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Moe's bar, and Moe asks Homer if he wants another Duff beer. And Homer... This was good.
I laugh because I already know what's coming.
Homer refuses and asks for something different, and Moe writes on a bottle and gives him a Swedish Doof beer.
Yeah.
Homer realises it tastes like Duff, and Moe says, "You got me, didn't you?" So he comes clean and gives him a red tick beer, and Homer likes it. He thinks it's refreshing, but he can't quite place the flavour. And we then cut to a brewery where dogs are swimming in a vat.
Needs more dog.
One of the brewer states it needs more dog after tasting the beer.
Yeah.
Back at the bar, Homer tries to leave, but Moe asks him to take a breathalyzer to make sure he can drive home. And the test he does, and the test comes up as Boris Yeltsin.
That's the reference that flew over my head.
No idea what that is.
Boris
Yeah,
Yeltsin is.
Please feel free to let us know if you do understand it. But I'm assuming it's a very drunk man.
A famous alcoholic, probably.
Homer then decides to walk home, talking about random scenes. On his way home, he walks on a dark street as eerie music plays.
Yeah.
A dog can be heard barking in the background, and the music gets creepier and lights shine behind Homer. He looks around scared and then steps out of the way of the Springfield Philharmonic's bus as they're all practicing with the music on the bus.
The psycho music.
Yeah. Homer runs home and sees a billboard with the words "Die" on it, and he screams. and the wind blows a tree out the way to reveal it actually says diet. And he screams even louder, and he runs. Grandpa Simpson suddenly appears from out of bush. He tells him that he's lost, and thank God he's found him. Homer just brushes him to one side.
No, he's got no time for you, old man.
Yeah, he continues to run. He trips on a branch and notices a glowing green alien in the background.
This trip on the twig bit, they didn't mention it was a reference to anything, but I'm sure this happened in the very first episode of The X-Files.
I think it did,
I mean, to be fair, I don't think that's a reference, more of just a cliche.
Yeah, it's a trope, isn't it? Yeah. But he sees this glowing green alien-like figure. The X-Files music plays in the background for the first time, and the figure tells him not to be afraid, and Homer immediately runs, leaving a trail in the long grass that spells the scream that he's making.
So,
interesting.
Just start. Have you got any theories as to what the alien was?
I thought it was Hans Moleman because he'd been left in the X-ray machine.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was just radioactive.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
What about you?
I'd seen it before.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry.
Well, that's the end of Act 1. Yeah. How did you think this intro was, Luke? I want to give, because we're doing this seriously. We're not messing about.
Let's do it properly. Yeah.
What did you think of the intro?
I really enjoyed it.
Was there intrigue? Was there like metaphors that you found?
I mean, I don't know if there's any metaphors, but yeah, it was very. Like I said, it's just a joke a minute with Simpsons, and it's like if one doesn't hit, the next one might. So it's just one of those where you just keep going, just keep watching. So
it is weird to review because I had a conversation with you before we started recording that I started reviewing it and I realised I was just writing down jokes and it was just going to be me delivering jokes, which is why I've gone for I'm going to explain what happens just like I do with every other X-Files episode, and we'll just go from there and we'll reference the jokes they make.
That's the best way to do it. I think it's too difficult to try and actually go script
Plus,
it'd be ridiculous.
It's as much of an X-Files episode as every other.
That's true.
It needs to be taken. The same amount of care needs to be taken.
Yeah, even though the theory is not solved. Well, we'll get to that eventually. It's not solved by them, but they're still involved. And we need to cover it like it is an X-File.
Exactly. So, we cut to the Simpsons' house and Homer rushes into the bedroom and Marge asks what happened. Homer tells her what happened, but she doesn't believe him on account of him being drunk.
He says he only had 10 beers.
Yeah. Next morning, Homer is telling the family what he saw. Lisa suggests that he might have dreamt it, but Homer retorts that he was covered in a sticky goo when he woke up, proving that he actually saw it. And as he's offered another sausage, he begins to drool all over himself. Lisa tells him that it is extremely unlikely that an alien was there. At this point, Bart jumps out dressed as an alien, scaring Homer for a second.
Did you notice that Lisa's basically Scully?
Yeah, all through the episode, Lisa's Scully. I thought exactly the same thing. Homer moans about being mocked, especially because it's his birthday. And then none of the family seem to realise, and Homer says, well, you know it's my birthday, it's the same day as Santa's little helper's birthday. To which the family all just give all their attention to the dog.
Completely ignore him. Go straight to praising the dog.
We then go to the nuclear power plant. Homer is recounting his experience to his colleagues. And as he gets to the part with the probe, he realises he's mixed the story up with his medical recently, or his recent physical, should I say. And they all walk away unimpressed. At the police station, there's so many cuts.
I know.
Homer's telling Chief Wiggum what happened, and Wiggum mocks him by writing the report on his invisible typewriter. Homer leaves, and an arsonist walks in, and he's got a lighter lit in his hand, and he admits that he's committed a crime, and he's going to do it again. And Wiggum also writes this report upon his invisible typewriter.
Did you notice as well when he said he recalled that the alien had a sweet heavenly voice and appeared every Friday night like Urkel?
Yeah. Now, here we go. This is where we want to be.
Yeah.
The familiar X-Files text pops up on the screen.
Yeah, I love that we get that same typography. It's brilliant.
FBI headquarters in Washington, which isn't the city, Washington DC.
It is not.
It's actually its own separate state.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Right there is Washington.
Wait, you've mixed them up.
Yeah, it's in the city. Oh, sorry.
Washington DC.
It's in the Washington DC. It's not in the state of Washington.
That's the one. Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We see a picture of Edgar Hoover on the walls in a dress.
Yeah. A lot of conspiracies going on in this building.
And Scully is typing on her very visible computer. Mulder interrupts and tell her an unsubstantiated UFO story has been reported and they need to investigate.
There's been another unsubstantiated UFO sighting in the heartland of America. We've got to get there right away.
Well, gee, Mulder, there's also this report of a shipment of drugs and illegal weapons coming into New Jersey tonight.
I hardly think the FBI is concerned with matters like that.
So, I'll get serious now. Love the fact that it's obviously Duchovny's voice and it's obviously Gillian Anderson's voice.
Yeah.
And we're just getting their characters ramped up to 11 and just taking the mick out of themselves.
That's the thing. You can tell that they know the joke of this, so they're fully on board with it. They know they're mocking like the setup of the show, but they're like, it's really exaggerated in how they're acting. And it's
great.
It's just great. It just make you wonder. I wonder what else they miss whilst they're investigating all these X-Files and stuff like that.
It does make you wonder, yeah. But then again, I suppose that is their job, the X-Files. They've got other agents to deal with that sort of stuff.
True. And Mulder wasn't very good at the normal stuff.
No.
Yeah,
No. It bored him.
Yeah.
At the Simpsons home, Mulder knocks on the door and introduces themselves to Marge. Marge panics, thinking they're there because she stole a pin from the post office. But once they tell her that she's there to see home, they're there to see Homer, should I say, she lets them in. And they take Homer to the police station. Scully asks Homer to pick the alien out of a lineup, including Alf, Chewbacca, and I wasn't sure what the alien, the actual alien...
Marty the Martian, is it from...
You've got Marty the Martian. Now, the Simpsons alien, is it Kang?
Oh, Kang and Kodos.
Yeah, I didn't know which one it was.
I think that it's one of the two. They both look exactly the same.
Yeah. So, one of them, there's the... Marty's the Martian?
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian, yeah. And who was the other one?
I've got down Gort, but I don't know.
There was that... Yeah, it was like a Tin Man. I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's from the Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that.
No, I've not seen it. Did you know that they didn't get any of the permission to use any of the characters apart from their own in this shot?
Really?
Yeah. The
was
guy...
there repercussions?
I don't think so, no. It's always still on telly, so they must not care, I think. But yeah, that Mike Reese, is it, one of the writers, described it as the most illegal shot in the history of the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's crazy that they just got away with it. But.
Do you remember an episode where there's like this, a lawyer, and he's basically providing this case about Chewbacca?
Oh, the Chewbacca defense.
Yeah, do you know that's a real thing now?
Yeah. It's from South Park, isn't it?
Oh, you know what it is from South Park? Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got them confused. Yeah. Sure. I mean, we should probably explain it rather than just leave it there for no reason. But go on, you tell us the scene of the Chewbacca.
Basically, it's a guy explaining what Chewbacca is and who he is, just to completely throw off.
And he literally says in the courtroom, and what does this have to do with the case?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that's actually a real term now because of this episode.
Yeah.
It basically means that if you're arguing something that has nothing to do with the case, they call it the Chewbacca defense. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I thought it was Simpsons. It turns out it wasn't related in the slightest. So
we'll move on.
Moving on swiftly.
I mean, to be fair, South Park did have a lot of ties to aliens, so maybe there's that X-Files connection.
I like it. You've took me out of the hole.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. They definitely didn't get them on the show though. I get the feeling like celebrities don't appear on South Park; they get mocked on South Park.
That's exactly right. So anyway, Homer tells him it wasn't anyone in the lineup, and they all just walk off. Later, he's hooked up to a lie detector test. Cigarette smoking man's just stood there in the background.
Classic smoking man.
Yeah. Scully explains that the lie detector test... she explains the lie detector test and asks Homer if he understands.
Now we're going to run a few tests. This is a simple lie detector. I'll ask you a few yes or no questions, and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's my favourite gag in this story.
It was pretty good.
It's literally that 2-second bit, and it's perfect.
Homer's continuing to have his medical. Scully taps his knee, and they wait for what seems like hours, and then all of a sudden Homer's knee twitches. And as part of the medical, Homer is then shown on a treadmill. And Mulder asks Scully, what's the point of this test? To which he says, I just thought you could lose a little weight.
Yeah.
And they comment on how his jiggling is hypnotic.
I like how he says this as like it is like an alien phenomenon.
Yeah. The eyes go wide.
Yeah.
Scully notes it's like a lava lamp. We cut to Moe's bar at 3:02, 72 degrees outside. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The text goes on.
Etc. Yeah.
I don't know what the point of this was, to be honest.
Other than to reference The Shining. That's literally it. Isn't it?
And it just kept on going and going and going.
I think cartoons do this all the time, like especially like Family Guy and stuff these days. Like
just throw references for reference sake.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's the MO of most cartoons.
Mulder asks Homer to recreate every move from that night, and Homer tells them that he was playing backgammon. And when Scully reminds him it's a felony to lie to the FBI, he tells them him and Barney were in the car eating packets of mustard.
Yeah.
Later, Homer gets very drunk and tells Scully she is a fine-looking woman. Isn't that what the guy in the Lone Gunman says to her?
Possibly. I don't know if it's the direct reference, but it might be like...
I don't know. I thought it might be.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I feel like at this time she was sort of like... a
bit of a sex symbol.
A sex symbol, yeah. Not like...
I think both of them was, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely,
I mean, to be fair, I think both of them, especially within the sort of X-Files community, I feel like both of them have got a really big following, sort of like people fancying them type of thing.
Yeah,
and they're both the two good-looking people, so you can understand why. To be fair, even in today, I mean, I feel like Gillian Anderson's aged better than David Duchovny.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Have you seen, oh God, what was she in last that I saw her in? She was in American Gods. Do you know the adaptation of that?
Yes, yeah.
She plays Media or New Media, one of the new gods in it. And she looked... I would not be able to tell that she's the age she is. She looks absolutely stunning. She's like, to be fair, she like takes on the roles of different... You know the story of
Yes,
American.
yeah.
Like, the first scene that you see her in, she's like sort of mocked up like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looks absolutely like outstanding in that. And I was like, and she's
a very beautiful woman.
She's like, what, 45? Something like that?
I've got no idea how old she is.
Getting close to 50s now, and it's like, you wouldn't be able to tell. No. Like, definitely not from that, so...
Moe asks them who they are, and Mulder shows his FBI badge, along with a photo of him in his well, I assume underwear, because it wasn't red, it was red trunks.
They weren't his red Speedos, but they were Speedos.
Yeah.
You know, showing off that... apparently this was a direct reference to Dwayne Barry.
Yeah, you can imagine it was, yeah. Moe panics, goes to the back room where he's keeping Shamu, and he tells the guy hosing him down that we need to get him back to SeaWorld. Yeah. Weird. I don't... It's so mad.
Moe does this all the time. He has these like illegal activities, and as soon as someone catches on, like he goes... There's one where he's like got all these pandas in boxes and has to let them all go. So, yeah, it's just one of those like concurrent gags that like, shows have, so, yeah.
Did you ever go to SeaWorld?
I've never been, no.
Yeah, I think there's 4 in the world.
4? Yeah, they're all in America, aren't they? Apart from one in Japan, is it, or something?
I don't know where they are. I think there's only 4. Yeah. I went to SeaWorld as a kid before I realised what a horrific place that place is.
Yeah, in reality,
Yeah, I used to love Shamu as a kid. And I just look back on it now, God, it was horrific. You don't think about it. And to be fair, even adults didn't know the damage that was being done there. Do you know what I mean?
Until you watch like Blackfish or something like that, you don't know what actually goes on with a lot of stuff.
It's so horrific though, isn't it? But like there was instance, wasn't there? There was instance where the animals turned on people like going into the water and oh God, it's just horrific.
It's animals at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like they can be friendly to you, but like
especially if they're being mistreated.
I was gonna say, if you mistreat them, they're gonna react. Like people do that, you know what I mean?
So, definitely. Anyway, Scully asks Homer to retrace his steps, and he takes them to where he saw the alien. There's a rustling, and Grandpa shows up.
He's still there.
Yeah, tells them he's been there for 4 days, and a turtle stole his teeth. We see the turtle with abnormally large teeth in his mouth, and he slowly walks away as Grandpa struggles to keep up. Yeah. He finally catches him, and the turtle bites him with his own teeth. Me recounting it is funny.
Really...
I bet you didn't laugh this much when you saw it.
No, not as much. The image, it's me imagining the image of him with his teeth as well. That just made me laugh again. But yeah, you recounting the actual joke is
it's so
great,
bizarre.
Man. Yeah.
Scully says this case is more annoying than the flesh-eating virus case they was on. She goes to leave while Mulder tells her something's out there watching them. He delivers this long monologue about the truth being out there.
But somewhere out there, something is watching us. There are alien forces acting in ways we can't perceive. Are we alone in the universe? Impossible. When you consider the wonders that exist all around us. Voodoo priests of Haiti, the Tibetan numerologists of Appalachia, the unsolved mysteries of unsolved mysteries. The truth is out there.
No! Oh, who'd have thought a whale could be so heavy? She's at the fence!
And it's long into the night. We literally see the transition from day to night. And he only stops to see Mo and two men carrying Shamu back to SeaWorld behind him. So again, this is another sort of play on Mulder's monologues in the show. And how his constant sort of
search for the
lobbying, for the almighty truth.
I like this reference where they said about the flesh-eating virus, and it made me think, is there an episode about that coming up?
It could be, to be fair.
Potentially, yeah.
We'll have to
see. I mean, to be fair, if anyone's listening that knows, which is a lot of our listeners, as that most of them have seen it before, if there is an episode coming up that's about a flesh-eating virus, let us know. Don't tell us the plot details, just yes or no.
I wonder if it's a bad episode as well.
Yeah,
because I feel like if it was a real episode, the writers of Simpsons would be meta enough to say they're not talking about like the actual case; they're talking about the reaction to that episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is much more annoying. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
At the Simpsons' house, Homer and Marge are in bed. Marge tells Homer she doesn't believe him, but Homer is only hearing what he wants to hear and accepts the omelette he thought she offered him. Marge asks him to stop all this and goes to sleep. Homer refuses to share a bed as someone who thinks he's crazy. But he does make an exception if she wants to have sex with him.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't, so he goes to the kitchen.
The classic father of the house. It's like, try anything. Yeah.
Bart joins him and tells him he believes him. And Homer tells him they're going to prove it by going back there on Friday. And if they don't prove it, they'll fake it and sell the footage to the Fox network. Bart laughs and remarks they will buy anything. But Homer interrupts and says they do have a lot of quality programming too. To which they both laugh hysterically.
it always makes me laugh. Like with Simpsons, like started it, and I know Family Guy does it as well. The amount of jabs they have at the Fox network, it's like either they're in really good spirits at the Fox network, and they're like, we don't mind jokes at our expense, or they get really annoyed, but they can't do anything because it's a massive draw.
I think it's the former. Yeah. I feel like it shows them in a good light to be happy to put that on and not taking themselves too seriously.
The only thing that makes me think it might be the latter is because of like I know they're two very different arms, but like Fox News being under the same umbrella is very po-faced and very like, have you seen what's going on in the arena? Like whether you, no matter what you believe about like politics this way or the other, it is a very serious and like they don't take jokes about stuff.
Yeah, it's because they're trying to win campaigns for people.
Well, yeah. But like, do you know what I mean? Like they're so. I don't know if they take jokes at their own expense.
I think they have specific networks where they have different approaches.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, to be fair, that's Rupert Murdoch all over, isn't it?
To be fair, I'm pretty sure.
It is Rupert Murdoch for Fox, isn't it?
I don't know if he has Fox.
No, it's Sky, isn't it?
He's got Sky, yeah.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Yeah. But to be fair, now saying that now. I think it's only Fox News and Fox Sports that are like separate. They're on their own now because everything else has been bought by Disney, isn't it? So like maybe they were always different things anyway. So
and Disney now own the world.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. They will literally have everything on that network eventually. It's crazy.
But again, it's not much different to what it was before because everything had a. If you follow the trail of money high enough, what is there, like 6 companies that own the majority, like 99% of companies in the world?
I didn't realise until recently that Armageddon is technically a Disney film. It's Touchstone Pictures, which is like a Buena Vista like company. I was like, what? It made sense as to why that was...
You've been to Disneyland and been on the Armageddon ride?
I know.
Because that was a thrilling adventure.
It was, yeah. I mean, you could describe it as that. No, it was just, I thought it was just something that they loaned out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, they have Indiana Jones, and that's Universal, isn't it? I don't think that's Disney.
That's Universal.
Yeah. So I thought maybe it was different, but no, it's technically a Disney
Crazy,
product.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Mental.
So we now cut to the woods, and the Budweiser frogs are croaking. Bud.
Why?
For God's sake, Lou. Just do an impression. That's all people want to hear from you. Just do an impression.
Why?
Oh, for God's sake.
That's good.
Bud!
Why?
See.
That's it.
That's spot
that's
on.
What the frogs
spot
sound
onto the adverts, that is.
That's what the frogs sound like.
Okay. And
Also, how old is the Budweiser advert? I didn't realise it was this old. 1997.
To be fair, I think I've only ever seen it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw it on TV once. But, this was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was this long ago.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, anyway, carry on. Sorry.
The frogs get eaten by an alligator.
That says cause.
That says cause.
Yeah.
Okay. Bart and Homer are camping, and they just decide to tell each other ghost stories. Bart proceeds to tell the tale of how much college will cost for Maggie, leaving Homer screaming terrified. Yeah. They roast marshmallows, and then the green glow suddenly appears and the alien approaches them, telling them he brings them peace. Homer goes to talk to him as the representative of planet Earth, but accidentally steps into the campfire and sets his leg on fire. He scares the alien off by screaming. Bart tells him it doesn't matter, he's got it all on tape, and they celebrate that they've got the proof.
High five. Did you notice that all of the stuff that they had, all of the camping gear, had a sticker on it that said property of Ned Flanders?
No, I didn't notice that.
Which ties in a bit later on.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice that. And then we cut back to Leonard Nimoy's study office, whatever it is. Nimoy shuts the book and concludes this story is proof we are not alone in the universe, and wishes the audience good night. And the squeaky voice teen, does he have a name? I've only ever known him as Squeaky Voice Teen.
He's just, a teenager.
He's like a cigarette smoking man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the Simpsons version.
The Squeaky Voice Teen, or the SVT, tells Nimoy they have 10 minutes left to fill. Nimoy runs away. We cut back to the Simpsons house. Yeah. Homer is watching a news report about a man in a coma who has woken up. The coma patient asks about Sonny and Cher, to which he finds out Cher won an Oscar, and Sonny is a congressman. The man wishes them good night and dies instantly.
Do you know what? This is a funny joke, but I was thinking, imagine somebody who's been in a coma for 10 years, and then they ask, who's the US president right now? So it's sort of... the world is always getting crazier, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'll move to Britain with the strength of Europe behind them.
Now checks. Don't get political on me. Not on Christmas.
We miss you, Europe. Please come back.
Do you know what? Thinking about this, there's going to be a lot of families getting together over Christmas. I'm going to have some really heady rows about politics, and
oh yeah, there will be.
Why has the world got so divided?
To be fair, in Britain, it's been such. Do you know the vote for Brexit was? I think it was 3 years ago. How crazy is that?
I know.
And this country has been split in half since then. Have you ever known this country to be as divided as it is now?
The only time we got back together was when England were in the World Cup. That was when Brexit was literally... No one cared at that point. If we won the World Cup, it didn't matter. We'd be like, we don't need Europe anymore.
If we get political for 1 second, I mean, I don't love it, but, looking at it from an outside perspective, I find it very funny that the Brexit deal has fallen apart, and we're just continuing with it with pure belligerence. Yeah. We're just at war with ourselves. How many times can you shoot yourself in the foot before you realise we can just go back on it, guys? Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I heard someone describe it as pure British stubbornness, and it's like, no, we're going to walk off this cliff. We've made our decision.
That's the thing. It's like, we've got to follow the will of the people. And I get that. I get the democracy behind it. And there's tons of arguments. I'm not going to sort of start arguing with people. But, how many negatives does there have to be? If someone tells you, Britain's going to be in famine for the next 20 years... It's what the people wanted. We're going to do it anyway.
Well, if starving to death is the price I have to pay, So just so we don't have to have European laws. So be it.
Oh God! We've gone.
It's crazy. Sorry, just one last point.
Go on.
The best bit was this week when Rees-Mogg. This is the UK politics hour with Luke Checks. Rees-Mogg, who is a Conservative MP, who tried to lead a coup against.
And he took the.
He tried to lead a coup and get a vote of no confidence. Failed dramatically. And has now gone on camera saying he actually supports Theresa May. And somebody put a tweet of, "This man changed his mind in a week. Why can't we change ours after 3 years?"
Did you see the guy in the House of Commons that took the mace?
Oh, and tried to
he tried because there's this sort of ceremonial mace in the House of Commons that sort of it's meant to represent the Queen's approval.
How
of whatever
politics
happens.
is done.
I know, yeah. And this guy comes up and takes it, and just walks out with it.
I was watching The Daily Show and they were taking the mick out of that, and I was like, yeah, it is silly, and
it's like when you look at it from the outside point of view, it's like we're still in the medieval ages.
I think there was a comedian, Doug Stanhope, described it. He was like, he felt really bad about President Bush, at the time as an American, he felt embarrassed about it. He says, and then he came over here and saw the royal wedding, and he's like, what is this D&D bullshit that you've got? I was like, yeah, he's got a point. Anyway, right, we have really derailed on that one.
We did. Long story short, the world's a bit mad, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's weird.
Doesn't matter on Christmas Day, does it?
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore. So,
the last Christmas Day.
Can you believe that last 10 minutes of discussion came from a Sonny and Cher joke?
Yeah. Anyway.
The next report is about Homer's videotape.
E.T. phone Homer. I like that little pun.
I didn't take a note of that. They continue to show the tape Bart recorded and state the news team will be there next Friday to see the alien themselves. Bart gloats to Lisa, and Lisa tells him she thinks there's a logical explanation and no one will believe 3 seconds of videotape. Again, very Scully thing to say.
Yeah.
The doorbell rings and the entire town is outside the door. Homer opens himself up to questions, which he proceeds to make up answers to, such as the alien is a xylophone-based life form, and the alien is also Santa.
Yeah.
And Ned Flanders asks where his stuff's gone, and he cuts the interview short.
Refuses any more questions.
We cut to the church, and Reverend Lovejoy recounts of another man who came in peace, died, and came back to life. And his name was E.T., the extraterrestrial.
I love that little guy.
That was great.
Good joke.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh.
And now we're back at the woods, the final scene. I did love this scene.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. A welcoming party has arrived, including the school band.
Did you get?
Yeah.
That's the new.
Did you get?
Christmas
Ooh.
number 1. Did you get?
Ooh. Did you get?
No, not again.
Did you get?
Please stop. I have to edit all this.
Just keep it in, it's fine.
Did you pick up on?
You got me.
Got you. Did you pick up on the tune that they were playing?
No, I didn't.
It was there's a 5-note song from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
nice. I like that.
Apart from the brrr at the end, obviously.
Nimoy's there, and Bart asks what he's even doing there.
Yeah.
And he tells him, wherever there is a mystery or unexplained cosmic force, he will be there. The hot dog vendor asks him what he wants in his hot dog, and he asks him to surprise him.
He says, "Hey, Spock!"
Homer's buying merchandise at a little pop-up store, should I say. And he's buying a t-shirt stating Homer is right. He remarks to Lisa how there are no Homer is a dope t-shirts, but the vendor tells him it's because they all sold out within 5 minutes. And Marge and Maggie appear wearing one. The alien then appears, should I say, to the town's amazement.
Yeah.
Marge apologises to Homer for doubting him. And the alien tells him he brings them love. And Dr. Hibbert asks if it's the love between a man and a woman or a man and a fine Cuban cigar. Then laughs at his own joke.
Yeah. What a guy. I love Hibbert.
What a great joke. I don't understand the punchline, but it's great. The crowd quickly get angry and run to attack the alien.
Yeah.
I bring you love.
It's bringing love. Don't let it get away.
Break its legs.
I like the line is, "He's bringing us love. Don't let him get away."
Lisa intervenes and shines a light on the alien, revealing it to be Mr. Burns. Willie believes it to be a monster and shouts for the crowd to kill it.
Yeah.
Smithers runs in and explains it's Mr. Burns. Willie shouts for the crowd to kill it still. Smithers explains every Friday Mr. Burns goes through a procedure to cheat death for another week. He goes through a spinal adjustment. Basically, he gets folded in half and then folded back out again.
Yeah.
Gets eye drops administered, making his pupils huge, and a vocal cord scraping, making his voice squeaky.
Yeah. Doesn't he say, like, will this hurt? And he says, no. Dr. Nick then says, not until they ram this down your throat. And they get this, like, metal contraption.
When asked about the glowing, Mr. Burns explains it's due to working at the power plant for so long, but it has also left him impotent.
Yeah. He says as impotent as a boxing commissioner in Nevada, doesn't he?
He starts to get angry again, but Dr. Nick comes by to give him a booster shot. And he then breaks out into a musical number of Good Morning Starshine with Leonard Nimoy, who joins in appropriately. And then the entire town gets together, including Mulder and Scully.
And Chewbacca.
And Chewbacca's there, yeah. They all join hands and sing along.
Yeah.
Marge gives Homer credit for uninadvertently bringing peace and love to the town, and Mulder and Scully continue to sing with Chewbacca. At Nimoy's office, squeaky-voiced teen concludes the story and tells everyone to keep watching the skis before correcting himself to skies. The end.
The end.
Well, Luke, what did you think of that special episode of the X-Files?
I really liked it. It was very different.
I did enjoy it. It's my first time watching it. There wasn't as much Mulder and Scully as I thought there would be.
No, I thought there was more actually, if I remember. But to be honest, it's because the way you remember, like especially Simpsons, is literally clips of it. You know,
yeah, you remember that episode with Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Mulder and Scully bits were my favourite parts of it. I love that sort of the segment where they're giving Homer his medical. Yeah, like all the jokes in there are great. I really enjoyed that.
The one about the lie detector is just a classic.
Yeah,
like just that 2 second. Like, but yeah, it's to be fair, it's this was sort of like the time of the Simpsons where it was really hitting its stride. Every episode was like a home run in this series and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just an example of a really good Simpsons episode, and
very funny.
We get the benefit of having some X-Files references in there as well, and you got to give kudos to Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny as well for being good sports.
I love people who are good sports about it and don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Fair play. Do you have any production notes for us this week?
Would I ever let you down?
Well, let's get straight to
Luke's production notes at Christmas.
We're gonna slide right down this chimney into this Christmas edition of my production notes. So we're gonna get some different production notes for this, obviously, because it's a very different show to X-Files.
That's not what you're talking about.
So the episode was produced by Al Jean and Mike Reese, who had also served as the showrunners for season 3 and 4. So I think this is just them showing that they progressed up into a different role as the series went on. They returned to the show to produce this and several other episodes while under contract with the Walt Disney Company. Again, that Walt Disney connection.
I know, yeah.
Creeping in early on. They do own The Simpsons now, actually, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So, crazy.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to be on this new streaming platform that Disney bringing out. Which, I mean, it sounds pretty great, this streaming platform. Apparently, they've already got Simpsons and Family Guy, American Dad.
There's rumours that the Marvel series that were on Netflix are coming to that as well.
Yeah, they will be, yeah. Although,
they said
they
initially...
got cancelled, didn't they? But maybe it's because of this.
They said initially they weren't coming back, but they've said now that they're discussing the options of bringing them back. So
it's possible.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, like, why not?
I mean, if it's bringing eyes to your product, and obviously you'll have all your Disney films and whatnot.
And apparently it's going to be cheaper than Netflix. That'll be insane if it is. Like, if it undercuts Netflix, because then at that point... It's a big competition. But anyway, that's our business chat for the week.
We've done politics, we've done business. Let's get into religion.
Let's stay away from that. It was one of the longest episode gaps between its original conception and to the time it was actually finished. The idea was first conceived at a story retreat. They used to do these story retreats where they did writing and stuff. And Gene found a copy of TV Guide while in the bathroom with the X-Files on the cover. Feeling a crossover would be a good idea, he came back into the room, told Reese his idea, and the pair pitched it at this retreat. None of the other staff wanted to do it, so they left it to Reese and Gene to do it themselves, basically. Okay. Before the episode was produced, the script was sent to Chris Carter. Oh, buddy, old pal. We've got to bury this hatchet. It's Christmas time. Chris, come on round to our Christmas abode.
This once a year, I don't mind. I can deal with Carter once a year.
Once a year. The creator of the X-Files, who said that it was an honour to be satirised by The Simpsons. I feel like it was at that time, because Simpsons wasn't mean about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
South Park and sometimes Family Guy can be quite mean about some stuff that they don't get clearance on, especially. So I think The Simpsons is like a nice one to...
Yeah, it's a homage almost.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's sort of like a roast, you know what I mean? Like a nice sort of like friendly roast, whereas, South Park is just mean.
Tear you apart.
Yeah. It's funny, but probably not for the celebrity they're in. Gene was worried that the episode was not funny, as at the table reading, there were only few of the writers present, and as such, the script got no laughs at all.
Ooh, okay.
Must be brutal.
Sounds like an episode of our podcast.
Unfortunately so.
Just a joke.
Have you ever seen them do table readings for comedy, cartoon shows and stuff like that? Yeah. I watched. There was one on Futurama, and it's such a weird thing.
Well, to be fair, just table readings in general, I find are very strange. Yeah. Because even if you watch one for a film, you get that weird thing where a joke's meant to be funny, and even though it's not delivered in the right way, and you've got obviously you've all sat down, so you can't really get the gist of the joke. But everyone still gives it that polite laugh, exactly. You know what I mean? It's a really strange environment, but it has to be done, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it took a long time to come up with the ending and an explanation for the alien. Originally, it was going to be just left as a mystery as to what that was. Mulder and Scully's office was designed to be exactly the same as the one used in the X-Files. And to be fair, it looked pretty bang on. I as a cartoon...
Had the poster there and everything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. As a cartoon depiction of it looked pretty good, I think, so... After it was finished, Fox sent the episode out for a critical review, which was called Really Great.
Okay.
Which sounds... It doesn't sound bombastic enough to be a review.
It sounds almost sarcastic. That was really great.
Yeah, exactly. The scene with Homer is a dope t-shirt originally had an extra line where they basically, the guy says, "I told you we're sold out," thus filling in the plot error in the actual episode in which Homer asked for some t-shirts despite just being told that they were sold out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I've just dawned on me now. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And also the scene where Homer first encounters the alien and he runs through the field, spelling Yar, was added by David Stern, and it was added after the original read-through.
Oh, okay. So
it was a joke.
Interesting.
And that's my production notes for this festive period.
Nice, with a period to end it.
Yes, yeah.
Bang. How do we finish a Christmas show?
Yeah,
I feel like we need to finish with a bang.
Yeah, I know we've got feedback from people, but I think we should save that for next week's because it's
for a proper episode.
A proper episode, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Okay, so let's do some on-air admin. What should we do? I feel like you should sing us a song.
Dum 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 bum 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 dum 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 bum 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 dum 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 bum bum dum 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 bum 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 bum. Wonderful Christmas time, simply having wonderful Christmas time.
That was good.
That was good, and let's never ever sing again on my way. I'm really sorry for everyone to endure that.
Well, it has been wonderful having you all listen to this show, especially because we know how busy Christmas can be.
Yeah.
Taking time out and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been a little bit of an escape, because I love family, but boy can family get annoying after spending long times with them. So hopefully you managed to escape for an hour, hour and a half, however long this episode's going to be, and just had a nice time. And I'm glad you've listened.
Yeah. Thanks for spending your Christmas with us.
Yeah, our first Christmas together. This is a special day.
It is, yeah. It's been an honour, guys. It's been an honour.
It has been an honour. You know how to get in touch with us by now. MostUnwantedPodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on all social media just by typing in Most Unwanted Podcast. Send us your thoughts, send us anything you want, really, reviews, or just even get in touch and say hi. We love everyone getting in touch with us. We love interacting with people. Well, I mean, to be fair, I learned so much more about the show in general and its fan base through that means. So it's great to keep in contact with everybody. Don't forget to join us next week for back to normal, our regular show. Yeah. I believe we're covering, what was the episode called again?
Red Museum. The
Red Museum next week. So don't forget to join us that. That'll actually be in the new year.
Yeah, the first episode of 2019.
Yeah, which is exciting. So, but for this festive period, and indeed the last show of the year, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Luke.
A classic two Ronnies ending for Christmas.
You can't beat it, can you?
It's classic.
I hope you've all had a Merry Christmas and have a fantastic New Year, everybody.
Merry Christmas.